Since my last video was really long, I'm going to try and make this one short. So yes, Log Horizon this week was, well, the continuation from what happened last chapter, or at least in the last episode. It did go a little bit better for this one, as it to be a ending for this first season, in which how they left it off. They are planning for more seasons, and honestly, I will be perfectly fair here. Even though I don't necessarily really like the direction in which that Log Horizon has gone, I do appreciate the possible potential it does have for a show, which that it did show me in the first 5 episodes, but after a while of them doing craziness like this, of them doing diplomatic arguments for episodes and episodes on end, which really don't amount to anything. It's honestly nice to pretty much just kind of see most of it come to an end, or at least like they didn't spend too much time focusing way more upon the Kefka lookalike who tried to do something to destroy the entire town, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, cool that they didn't focus on it too much, because they kind of just did that and got that right out of the way. So pretty much when it comes, and honestly, Shiro finally kind of boils down and kind of honestly gets his point across of why he doesn't want people to necessarily like him, because as he says it, it's like he and Krusty are honestly 2 halves of pretty much the organization, which do have most of the attention. He is seen as the bad cop, the guy who people do not like, and they have to be cautious of him. Whereas Krusty, on the other hand, is by far the guy who has to have all of their trust. He has to be in their limelight, and also he has to be with the princess to keep his image up. So it's nice to see him solidify that. However, I did kind of notice something about this, though. It's like when Shiro's talking to Minami and Akatsuki, he really has to be very cautious about how he talks to these two, because whenever he feels as though that one of them, he is alone with them, and honestly, he has a genuine like moment with them, it's a thing of he has to be very cautious with what he says, because action is one thing, but honestly, Shiro is kind of a character who is actually affecting these girls through his subtle talkings and how he reacts to how they do, because I kind of figured that Akatsuki would honestly be kind of hurt by the fact that he tells Minami that she actually did way more to help him out during this debacle than what she did, and that did hurt her for a second, until the next day when she's actually trying to help him out again. And that is something which I do feel that if this show goes into a second season, it will play a bigger part in their relationships. Also, the big thing about this episode was the fact that they actually did kind of talk about going back into other towns and taking over and trying to fix them, and making it a gigantic thing of talking to the actual villains of the show, or who is going to be an actual villain for the latter part of this series. I forget her name, but it's a girl but it's one of the Fox people. She runs one of the towns, and she did that similar. She took over the town similarly how Shiro took over the guild. In other words, she bought the cathedral. So now, in order for people to use it, they have to give her, they have to join her guild. So she twisted their arm, forced them to do it. Also, she fixed the teleport gate, so now people can use those in her town. I'm not necessarily sure around everywhere else, but it is honestly known that she does have a compelling story, and for what it was nice and it was interesting to listen to, along with the fact that she does like Shiro because as she puts it, or at least like as she was leading it up to it, he was necessarily the only gamer or player who actually praised her for something in her life, and that was something in which that kind of forced her to actually want him. However, Shiro pretty much said, like, I will give you more as an enemy than I could as an ally. So pretty much I am going to be an enemy for you to help you grow in this world. Also, she does kind of point out that Shiro actually knows a way, or he's getting really, really close to figuring out how the players can get out of the Elder's Tale world and get back to the real world, which is actually pretty interesting. And it's something in which that, you know, it could honestly play off of, and they could have all these battles and everything else. But seriously, for this episode, it was it's nice that they kind of didn't put too much time and effort into what they did with the festival. However, leading into a second season and kind of leaving it off so that you can be interested for a second season, they did a good job there of bringing in a compelling villain, or, you know, a villain at all, and also giving our characters a main goal, something that can actually gives them something to strive for when the next season comes. So there is something there for Log Horizon Season 2 if it even happens. So there is something there. However, what does it mean? I don't really know. But until then, that's pretty much what I got to say about that. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? Please tell me down there in the comment section. I'll catch you guys on the next John Graves show. So please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I am out.